We've all been there. You're standing in a museum, staring at a painting, and all you can think is, I don't get it. To me, knowing the story behind an artwork is a huge part of knowing how to look at it. I'm Amanda, the host of the Art of History podcast, where we view history through the lens of some really great works of art. Each episode, we dive deep into the bigger picture behind some familiar and maybe not so familiar pieces. Check out Art of History now wherever you get your podcasts.
Kids, welcome to the show. We are a family podcast dedicated to empowering a generation of kind and empathetic creators and citizens of the world.
Hello. My name is Asher and I'm your host along with my mom, Kristen.
Today, we're hopping back on the culture train to visit Dr. Horace Alexander and Ms. Dorothy McCloud from Jamaica Cultural Alliance to learn more about the beautiful island of Jamaica in the Caribbean. But first, we want to say thank you to our listeners that left us a 5-star review. Claire from the UK said, "Could you make more episodes about Cantonese traditions? My mom is Cantonese and I don't learn a lot about it from where I live. Thank you."
Thank you, Claire.
And we also want to say a big happy birthday to Sarah Cho from South Korea. Sarah is turning 9 years old and she wants to travel to California someday. Grown-ups, please don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating on Apple for a shout-out and leave us a voicemail at www.culturekidsmedia.com.
Okay, let's hurry up and catch our culture train.
Yep, because we are going back to Jamaica.
All aboard!
Here we go.
Welcome back to Jamaica. We're here again amongst the lush green landscapes, vibrant with tropical flowers and the sounds of nature. The beautiful beaches, warm sunshine, and friendly people makes us feel right at home. And now, here comes our guests.
Welcome to the show.
How you going, Culture Kids? It's a pleasure to be back again.
Hi again, Culture Kids. Thanks for having us back.
We're so excited to learn more about Jamaica.
Me too. Last episode, we learned about the Jamaican motto, out of many, one people, its history, and explore fascinating landscapes such as the Green Grotto Caves and more.
And bioluminescent caves. So cool.
Yep, and our guests also shared that for this episode, they want to talk about Jamaican cuisine, fruits, and colors of their flag.
Oh, we did an episode about fruits.
Yes, and actually, there is a fruit I'd love to learn more about, which is called ackee. It is a special fruit in Jamaica that's famous for being the national fruit and a key ingredient in some popular dishes.
Can you tell us more about ackee?
Well, there's a little bit of fascination about the fruit because when it's growing on the tree, it's closed up and it looks very similar to an apple. As it's maturing and it's getting ripe for picking, it opens up into like 3 sections.
What does it look like when it's opened up? Like a flower?
Uh-huh. And when it opens, it no longer looks like the apple, but you see the ackee seed, which is black, and on top of the meat, which is yellow. So it becomes a very beautiful looking flower.
Sounds magical. I've never seen a fruit like that.
So do you pick the fruit after it has opened up like a flower into 3 sections? Or can you pick it and eat it before it blooms like that?
If you're impatient and you pick the fruit before it opens and try to eat it, it's poisonous.
Oh no.
So everyone knows that you do not force that fruit to maturity. You wait until nature opens it. And then it's one of the most beautiful dishes that you can have when it's prepared.
So wait until it opens, or else you'll get very sick.
Yes, thank you for sharing this, Miss Dorothy. Very good to know. It's important not to try any fruits found in the wild without a grown-up present to tell you if it's safe to eat or not.
So how do you eat the ackee?
This is a fruit that you don't eat raw, you cook it.
Oh, like breadfruit from our last episode.
Yep, very good comparison.
And it goes well with what we call salt fish. So it's mixed with little slivers of fish in between. And it looks like scrambled eggs, although I don't think it necessarily tastes like scrambled eggs. But it goes well with breadfruit, with yams and potatoes. It goes with just about everything, including rice and peas, which is another staple of the Jamaican cuisine.
Mommy showed me photos of the dish, and it does look like scrambled eggs.
And Jamaica is noted for its seasonings. You know, the pimentos and mixing the pimentos and the peppers and all the different seasonings. So all of that goes together. When you see it, it really looks delightful and it tastes as good.
What is pimento? Like mento, but with a P?
Good question. Pimento is a special spice that comes from a tree and looks a little bit like berries. They dry these berries and then crush them into a powder or use them whole in cooking to make the food taste really yummy.
Cool, so many kinds of berries.
Could you share with us what ackee tastes like?
It's difficult to explain because it doesn't taste like anything else.
It's just unique, a unique flavor, but it's not overpowering. It's very mild, so
Yes.
it's easier for a person who has not had it before to have it as an acquired taste readily because it doesn't overpower you. It's very subtle.
That sounds like something I can try.
I guess we'll have to try it someday.
Yes!
To our listeners, would you like to try ackee someday? What do you think it might smell or taste like? So we have to ask, many of us love what we call jerk seasoning or jerk sauce that comes from Jamaica. Could you tell us more about it and the story behind this delicious flavor?
It's almost unique to Jamaica. The slaves who escaped and went to the mountains and lived as what we call Maroons.
Ooh, we learned about Maroons in the last episode. They were brave people that escaped to the mountains to find freedom.
Exactly. They were way in the interior of what we call the cockpit country, way up in the Blue Mountains and other mountain ranges. And so as not to be discovered in the bush where they were hiding and living, they used to cook underground.
Underground? Like in a hole?
Yes, you got it. They would have the chicken or the pork or whatever it is they were having cooked under the surface of the ground and covered over with hot coals and other things. So they'd cook it so that there would be no smoke emerging to betray where they were hiding.
Thank you for sharing this. What a clever method the Maroons used to survive. Back then, there were no ovens or stoves, and since they lived in the mountains, they had to use fire to cook their food. And of course, fire creates smoke, so to hide the smoke, they cooked the meat underground in a hole.
What else did they add to cook the food?
What was used to spice the food at that time were the limbs of what is called a pimento tree. It's a tree, really.
Pimento.
And so that is what was used to season the meat.
Yes, and as a side note to our listeners, pimento spice is also called allspice in many countries.
Maybe it's because it's the king of spices. Allspice.
I can see that.
So the sauce is a sauce that's created with those spices. So the sauce is a derivative of the act of jerky, which is that cooking the meat under the ground.
So jerk is a unique thing to Jamaica because I don't know of any other Maroons anywhere in the world or any other people that use this particular cooking method. And because of it's part of our history and it's a unique flavor.
I want to try it someday.
I think you definitely love it, Asher. So since cooking underground is not always possible nowadays, how do people make jerk meat now in Jamaica?
And we don't have to hide the smoke.
Okay, We produce them sometimes in steel drums with the pimento wood underneath, so the smoke comes up and seasons the meat. Or they have other kinds of settings in which they allow the meat to marinate with all this smoke coming out from the pimento wood.
And can you jerk any meat?
In Jamaica, it started with pork. And then in order to popularize it, then it spread to other things. Now they're jerking everything.
Oink, oink. Okay, since we're talking about food, can you share some desserts with us?
Sure. Well, the children will revel in the sweets, and many of the local candies are made from coconut. They make coconut in different ways. They grate the coconut and, take off the brown part and make it all white. And then they use a little red coloring, and they call that grater cake.
They are usually cut into little squares, and I think the red color makes it look really yummy.
Coconut is not my favorite, but I love the color red.
And then they have others where they grate the coconut and boil it in molasses and make it it's really hard to chew. It's very chewy, but kids loved it.
Oh, molasses is a thick sweet syrup made from sugar cane or sugar beets that's used in cooking and baking.
Yep, thank you for clarifying. Could you tell us what this dessert was called? It sounds like a very fun, chewy dessert.
We had a prime minister who was a real warrior. He really fought very hard for the people. And his name was Sir Alexander Bustamante. So they call this candy Bustamante's backbone.
Backbone like skeletons?
Yeah.
Well, just like our backbone helps us stand up straight and strong, calling this dessert Bustamante's backbone means it's tough and hard to chew, just like Sir Alexander Bustamante was tough and strong for his people.
That's so cool and silly. I like that.
It's really tough. It's hard. It's hard to chew. It's a real go-getter.
And also, could you share with us the significance of the colors of the Jamaican flag?
Well, originally, the black, green, and gold, which are the colors of the flag, make it a unique flag in the world because it's one of the few flags in the whole world that doesn't have any blue or red or white in it.
I never thought about that. I guess a lot of flags do have white, red, and blue.
Yeah, Korean flag, the USA flag, cool.
So these are almost unique colors to us. And what they mean is the black says there are challenges and there are problems, but the land is green and the sun still shines.
Oh, so the gold is like the sun and green is like the plants and the trees, and black is for the strong people.
Yes, you got it. So it's a very optimistic outlook because Jamaicans have a very positive outlook. If something is going wrong, they say, oh, no problem, man. We'll take care of that. If a Jamaican has a leak in his roof, he says, hey, that's proof that I have a roof. Awesome! It's a very positive outlook, and the flag really seems to reflect that.
We love that so much. We really do feel the positivity, kindness, and warmth from so many Jamaicans. We also noticed that red is often used to represent Jamaican culture. Could you tell us more about that?
The red is not part of the Jamaican flag, but it does represent African ancestry in some way. And so the Rastafarian community within Jamaica does use the red very often. And so sometimes people even associate the red with the black, green, and gold, but it's not part of the official Jamaica flag.
Who is the Rastafarian community?
The Rastafarian community is a group of people who believe in peace, love, and respect for everyone. They are known for their colorful clothing and music like reggae, which spreads message of unity and freedom.
Cool.
And lastly, what can we do to support the beautiful island of Jamaica and its communities around the world?
We are hoping that people will get a view of Jamaica and Jamaicans that is much broader than you see in the media. We are people of all walks of life and all different cultural backgrounds. And we love our sports. We have the fastest men and the fastest women in the world currently.
Fastest man and woman in the world. Cool.
We are much more diverse than simply beaches and tourist areas. There's a whole lot more to enjoy in Jamaican culture off the beaten path of tourism and industrialization.
And before you go, could you tell us how our grown-ups can find out more about what you do?
This is for the grown-ups. Dorothy and I are associated with the Jamaica Cultural Alliance. And the mission of JCA is to build bridges between cultures. And so we hope that you will expose yourself a little bit more to Jamaican culture by logging into jamaicaculture.org, which is our website, for further information and for pictures and other contact information that might be useful to you.
And we also have a Facebook page at Jamaica Culture and an Instagram page at Jamaica Culture.
Thank you for meeting us here.
It was lovely sharing with you today, Culture Kids. And as we say in Jamaica, walk good.
That's a patois way of saying goodbye and, God bless you kind of thing.
Walk good.
Thank you so much, Dorothy and Horace. We'll see you again soon. Walk good.
Walk good, everybody.
And to our Culture Kids family, what do you think it meant when Dr. Alexander said we are here to build bridges between cultures? I believe it's a wonderful saying that encourages us to make friends with people from all over the world. By doing so, we can learn about their traditions, cultures, and ways of life, which helps us grow closer and understand each other better.
Like how we learned about ackee, their cool flag, and what jerk seasoning is.
Yep, we hope you'll continue to learn more about Jamaican culture, and who knows, try jerk seasoning someday. Like we always say, you never know, it could be your new favorite food. And until next week, always remember, here at Culture Kids, you and your family are welcomed, included, and celebrated for exactly who you are. Goodbye. Okay, I'll go first. What did the little corn say to the mama corn?
What?
Where is popcorn?
Oh, like popcorn, like you eat, but like pop, people say pop instead of dad. Get it?
Yep.
I get it. My turn.
What do you got?
What do fish use to buy snacks?
I don't know. What do they use?
Sand dollars. Get it? Sand dollars are like fossils.
Yes, but dollars like money. Clever. Thanks for joining us today. Hit subscribe, and we have one of my favorite authors of all time, Miss Carol McCloud, author of Have You Filled a Bucket Today, joining us on the show, and you don't want to miss this one. Email us at hello@culturekidsmedia.com anytime for shout-outs and more. Thank you, and see you next week.